Hello everyone and welcome to our product presentation today. We are coming out of the dark. We are broadcasting live out of Solingen, Germany from our office. Welcome to all the guests, our customers, and also we saw to our competitors. You are all there. Thank you for that. Today we are going beyond observability, and the thing we want to do is, from many conversations, we want to help you ship more with AI, of course, and break less, so have less incidents in production. How do we want to do that? So first of all, let's talk about the challenges that we are seeing. The positive is, and here this is based on Pharos AI engineering report, a recent report with more than 20,000 engineers. Code production has gone up tremendously, like 2-3x. So we see that everyone is using coding agents, AI coding agents, and the output is enormous. It's going just up and up. But that comes with the downside. And the downside is problems get more shifted to the right. So we always talked about shift left. Now we are talking about shift right. What does that mean? It means that you generate code at machine speed, but the right side hasn't catched up yet. So we see the reviewing stacking up, and the merges of the PR stacking up, so the lead time to production is going up. At the same time, we see an escalation of incidents, so 3x more incidents per PR when code is shipped to production. Why is that? It's because some of the PRs are just rubber stamped. You also generate more code, so production has to catch up, and you need machine speed not only on the coding side, but you need machine speed also on the production side. You need insights, you need data in the full process so that you can speed up, ship more, break less. So today we are shipping multiple new products. If you know our red jumpsuits, I'm today in the black jumpsuit because we have a full new product line called Darkplane. Darkplane is closing the loop from production to development, built with AI, ship with confidence, a lot of tools that help you ship more with higher quality and get all the insight into your tokens, into your spend, into adoption, into ROI of your coding spend. And my co-founder and CTO, Ben, will tell you more about Darkplane later. We are also releasing Agent Zero automations. Put production on autopilot. So we released Agent Zero, the second version recently. We now have root cause analysis, autofix, live insights, but with automations, we get to the next level, and our VP of engineering, Judith, will tell you more about Agent Zero automations. And last but not least, you know our DNA is open telemetry. We are launching SignalStore today with Signal Control, and that means you have a SignalStore for all your open telemetry signals, logs, metrics, traces, profiles, events, real user monitoring events, and all that built for humans. We had that already, but also built for agents. So we have all the interfaces you need, MCP, CLI, APIs, SQL as a query language, and we have built the context inside so that agents and humans can use the right tools, the right data, and the right context to find the issues in production and automate whatever is needed. So with that, we will start actually with Evgeny, our Director of Product. He will present you SignalStore and Signal Control. Evgeny?
From Dash0, Director of Product Management. So we identified two problems that teams and agents are struggling alike. One is the missing context and correlation of this telemetry that you're sending. And the second, with the explosion of data, is simply that you're drowning in noise. And this is the reason why we're continuing to build SignalStore. It's the backend for your telemetry that focuses on the correlation across all the signals. The social contract that we're entering with our customers is the more open telemetry you get, you do, the more correlation you get out of the zero so that you can extract all the value from your telemetry data. Let me quickly showcase what I mean. If I go into my logs, I can simply click on one of these log lines, and directly I see the trace context. And on the other side, on the resource side, I see what is the service, what is the runtime that is powering the service, where is it running on Kubernetes. But not only the correlation across the different signals and the infrastructure is important, we also give you the correlation across different dimensions within the logs. So I can simply see here all the logs that were emitted by the same trace, or all the logs that are emitted by the same pod. Very simple. Now let's talk about the other problem. The data amount is exploding, and at the same time, you are waking up in the middle of the night, and you need to sift through all this amount of data as a human. But also, even though the agent contexts are still growing, it leads to a big problem that even agents get a lot of you get a lot of hallucination from the wrong data at the wrong point in time, and you get a lot of red herrings from the agents generated that humans are following, so you lose a lot of time when it matters. This is why we are super happy to launch Signal Control. So it brings 3 powerful capabilities. Number 1, you can drop the data, you can sample so that every trace that matters actually is retained with the full context across all the different dimensions. Or you can aggregate so that over big time frames, you still keep the signal and can do the analysis with the data. Bring this all together. SignalStore and Signal Control enable you to be able to act on the data that you send purely on OpenTelemetry so that you stay the true owner of your telemetry data. And what you can do with this data, Judith will show us in the next presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Judith. I'm Vice President Engineering at Dash0, and I'm really thrilled today to introduce you to Agent Zero automations. We heard from Mirko that the more we ship code with AI, the more we go fast, the more issues we have in production. And we are very well aware of that, and that's why at Dash0 we recently launched Agent Zero, our AI SRE, which is not only the typical AI SRE that can investigate an issue for you, but can actually fix it. Thanks to its native GitHub integration, Agent Zero can look at a problem that you point out and find the root cause, and then create a PR to fix it. And all it takes is one conversation. But imagine that you didn't even have to have that conversation. Imagine that when an issue arises, everything would go automatically and you would just need to approve the fix. Imagine a check fails in production, it's the middle of the night. By the time you're in front of your computer, the fix is already there waiting for you with a full report on the root cause of the issue. Imagine that for every deployment, without you moving a finger, you get in Slack a full report of the health check of all your services and what has been affected. Imagine that a shell opens in a running container, there's an issue, Agent Zero, without you moving a finger once again, validates the container against the policy and updates the allow list, and you have a Terraform PR ready. This is not imagination anymore. Today, we're introducing Dash0 automations, Dash0 agentic workflows, and it takes 3 simple steps to create everything that I just asked you to imagine. 1, select the trigger. Decide what Agent Zero needs to act upon. It can be a failed check, it can be a schedule, it can be an event in GitHub, it can be a webhook. You just need to define which event the Agent Zero needs to react to. 2, decide what Agent Zero needs to do. Write a prompt, explain what it needs to have. And of course, this being Agent Zero, it will have all the context from your telemetry to act upon. And finally, decide where you want to be notified of what happened. And Agent 0 will notify, automations will notify you directly where you and your team are working, it being Slack, email, or directly Dash0. And this is all fantastic, and you can do an unimaginable amount of things with this combination, but of course, great powers, great responsibility. We bring to you also a full set of guardrails to make sure that all of this happens in full safety. And this means that you can control in granularity network access, which tools and skills your agent has access to. You can do a full audit of all the history, and of course, you can control price. And yes, I know this seems too good to be true, so let me actually show you how that looks like. And, oh wait, before that, I see, there's been an issue in production while I was talking to you. There's been an issue with the checkout service. Let me check. Oh, luckily the RCA is already done. Oh, that's great. Oh wait, there's even next steps, and we have a PR open. Well, that's fantastic. Let me show you how this happened, because thankfully, Agent 0 was able to do all this while I was talking to you, so I don't have to stop talking to you. And this is how it looks like. A check failed, so we have a check ID. Here you see all the actions that Agent 0 performed. As everything in Agent 0, you can always check for each action what happened and which type of evidence Agent 0 has collected to make its diagnosis. And here you get the full report. So with high confidence, there was a problem with the feature flag. Here is all the evidence. You can check service by service, also the blast radius, and you can check the fix here in production. In GitHub, there's a PR. And so how does this look like exactly? Well, we can show here in, this is the overview of automations. As you can see, there's even one in progress. And we can inspect all of it. Wait, sorry. And this is how you set it up. As I said, you have a name. You can decide which failed checks, in this case, it will react to. But also there are GitHub events, Slack events, and so on. You will write a prompt here. As you can see, there was an explicit ask to write a PR if necessary, and these are the granular controls for the tools and the MCP skills. And if you're like, yeah, Judith, I don't know where to start with this, well, we have a fantastic set of templates for you to get inspirations. You can click on any of them and just decide whether you want to use the prompt as it is, or change it, or change everything that I just mentioned is configurable. And so this is an overview of automation. I know you want to go directly to Dash0 to try it right now, but please don't do it just yet, because Ben is coming on stage to share something super exciting as well. Thank you very much. Ben, over to you.
Hey everybody. Now, you just saw our awesome SignalStore and signal control and what it can do for the quality of your data and what power you can unlock with automations and Agent 0. I'm Ben, CTO and co-founder of Dash0, and as AI has kept me super busy, just like many others of you. And today, we're going to release Darkplane, the first step of it, to help you actually ship with confidence and build with AI while trusting it. Now, before we start though with what exactly it is, I want to shortly level the playing field. I have talked to over 50 engineering leaders, and everyone has had so many questions. There were so many differences in approach, and actually there were a bunch of organizations and companies that were trying to come up with a shared language. So I want to use that language for the remainder of this session. Now, this is not our language, but I find it incredibly helpful. And it starts with some levels that are like loosely aligned with the levels of autonomous driving. It starts with the good old GitHub Copilot and auto-completions, goes over on level 2 towards Claude Code, Cursor, Codex, so coding agents, which then actually shift the problem to the right, as Mirko has said, where you suddenly get more issues on your pull requests, in merge queues, in production, which is why many people start to lean into tools such as CodeRabbit and Cursor Bugbot for AI code reviews. But that only reveals another problem, which is approval and merging, which is one of the reasons why we are tackling those problems now with Darkplane. And then there's level 4 and level 5, which goes way more into autonomy with the Dark Factory, but we will keep that for later. Now, Mirko already mentioned some of those problems, but just to repeat them, right? Measuring the value of AI is actually really hard. You have all read stories on token maxing and Uber's insane spend on it and so many others. This is up, you need to understand it. There's also more and more incidents per pull request that are happening. And one of the things that's of course super dear to us is also debugging AI-generated code and making sure that your system is up and running, right? So you have scale generation, but the validation and quality part needs to follow suit. And Darkplane is exactly this control room, and that's how we think about it, right? You need to understand what AI builds, ships, and what is breaking as a consequence. And there are a bunch of capabilities related to this. We're going to talk today about AI coding insights that helps you understand exactly what is AI building, what does it cost, even down to the pull request level. Approval insights and engineering statistics that helps you understand what AI is trusted to ship and what are individual engineers trusted to ship on their own, down to production truth, and as we're calling it, the context graph, which is really awesome to understand, hey, what is broken, and trace this back down to the individual change. Right, let's start actually with, as we're calling it, the factory floor. Getting insights into your AI coding spend, especially if you allow your engineers to use a variety of solutions such as Claude Code, Cursor, Codex, and so many others, is really hard. Right? Getting a single view on this is actually really challenging, and then even exposing that to an individual engineer. With AI coding insights, this actually gets way easier. Right? You can see the spend, you can break down the spend by repository, model, team, user, pull request, whatever you want to. That helps you not just understand who is spending, what, how much, but also who is the champion. You want to enable the champions. You want to help them spread the knowledge throughout your organization. AI coding insights helps you do this very easily. You can drill down as much as you want into MCP, into the skills that are being used, and actually even into individual sessions. And if you want to, even down to the individual prompt, individual tool call arguments, and return values. Now, of course, I know this is personally identifiable information. You're in full control. You can choose what you want to send and what not to send. The cool thing is, this is actually powered by additional plugins for Claude Code and Codex, which means we can grab all of this data already from the machines. That means there's no after-the-fact correlation that frequently breaks. And I'm sure if you ever looked at these analytics dashboards, you know exactly what I mean, because it's so painful. Right? This goes firsthand, and this is, of course, as usual for us, OpenTelemetry native, fully based on open standards. You can send the data to us, which is, of course, awesome, but of course, in theory, you can also point it anywhere else. Now, that is AI coding insights. This tackles level 2 problem, right? You introduce coding agents, you get more and more issues. But what if you actually want to go further, right? Level 3, level 3.5, and so forth. This is actually when you need more data. And that's why so many customers turn to us. They want to know, hey, is there a way that you can give us that data? And now we're starting to get there here, right? With insights, you can not just see how is your investment distribution changing across pull requests, but also when did that happen? How is distributed? Where are we stalling within our software development lifecycle? One of my favorite things to look at is what Mirko alluded to with rubber stamping. Number of pull requests went up, and of course that has a consequence in our development process. What we see and what many others see is actually that rubber stamping goes up, meaning there's an approval without any further comment, without any further interaction. And so effectively you're already down to a single engineer shipping. And many organizations, of course, want to help this, move this along using AI code review agents, right? Again, CodeRabbit and so many others. But you need to understand actually whether those are finding adoption in your organization, especially if you're trialing different ones, right? We have talked to many people that just are frustrated the first time around, they try something and then they go for a different solution, or they build something completely internal, they also need those. And of course, the ideal scenario that you want to get to is that you can ship code just as a single engineer paired with a set of agents. And this is what auto-merge is. Auto-merge actually helps you clear the rubber stamps, helps you actually approve PRs automatically, but not just based on some fixed guidelines like, hey, auto-approve Depender-bot PRs. We want to do this in an adaptive way. If your production system is doing fine, if that author has trust, you can allow that author to actually contribute way more and some riskier changes fully on their own. And this needs a bunch of data to make sure that this works, from interpretation of the change, author trust, production systems, while the SLO is standing right now. All of this flows together into auto-merge. You can see two examples here on screen that I'm sure are too small to read, but one is showing actually an approval, right, of an internal thing, and the right side actually shows that a recent change that was very similar was reverted. That is treated as a negative signal and consequently not auto-approved. Now, one thing that is of course super necessary for this and so many other things is context. And context graph is our answer to that. As an observability company, we have of course historically had very good context on your infrastructure on a logical level. But now with the advent of agents, you need way more, right? You need the insights into GitHub. You need the insights into who is responsible, who's owning that team, incidents, where is all of this discussed. All of that actually helps you a lot and helps the agents a lot, right? They need to know how and where to contribute on behalf of you. And you might have encountered exactly those situations where this kind of context is really necessary. Now, that is a sneak peek at Darkplane. It really, at this day, is no longer about how much an AI can ship. If you put it on wild auto mode, it can ship more code than you could ever look at. It's really about what you let it ship while retaining confidence and trust, and Darkplane gives you that trust back. Now, AI Coding Insights is shipping today. The other features are coming later this quarter, and of course, we would like to have you as a beta customer for that, so reach out to us. We'd love to get that in your hands. Thank you.
Wow, that was great. We did a live broadcast with live demos. Everybody was nervous that something will break, but it went perfectly. So thanks to my team. Also thanks to our awesome product team. What they have built in the past months is amazing, right? We saw the change, we got the feedback from our customers, and today we launched Darkplane, which is closing the loop. You get the right data into your software development lifecycle, plus you get all the context you need in production. So Darkplane helps you understand your token spend, helps you understand the ROI of the token spend, but also helps you to merge with confidence and safe. And then if you start shipping at machine speed, you also need machine speed in production. That's where Agent Zero Automations comes into play, and it automates everything. Put production on autopilot. You have seen an example where we create a fix. It's in GitHub, the PR is created, everything is triggered, you validate your deployments, you get a security fix right away at 3 a.m. in the morning. This all comes with Agent Zero Automations and a set of fully curated, a catalog of fully curated agents, and you can also build your own. And this is all on the backbone of OpenTelemetry, SignalStore, our backend for OpenTelemetry data, signals, and signal control, which helps you to reduce the noise and keep only what's really needed, because that's essentially what agents and humans need. Not a big haystack, a small haystack to find the needle. Give it the right tools, the right query languages, the right interfaces for MCP, CLI, etc. Observe, fix, learn, repeat. So today we are closing the loop. We are going beyond observability. We are super excited. Agent Zero Automation is ready to be used today, as well as Darkplane and SignalStore. So go to the website, register, you have a free trial. Darkplane, the AI insights for your Claude Code, Cursor, Codex is free until beginning of August. Just test it, see if you get value out of it. We are super excited to get your feedback. Hope to see you soon in our product. Thank you.